My guest today is Dr. Alena Butkevica. She is an MD, a DMD, a PhD, a CEO, and the lead researcher at AB Bio Innovations. Alena has taken her background in medical science and her passion for helping people by creating a line of skincare products that is award-winning and scientifically proven to help people resolve skin issues and avoiding surgery. Let's take a listen. And I notice you are the model on your website.
Well, yes, I am because I am 60 and
You are not.
yes, I am.
Wow.
Yes, I am. I am
Good.
60 and that
Incredible.
is that and you see me without a makeup intentionally.
Right.
There's no powder, nothing on me. And I don't know if you're recording this or not, but this is
Yes, we're
me 5
recording.
years ago.
Okay.
So, and you can see a little streaks of cream because I started to work on it. So
Yep.
I am a neural maxillofacial surgeon. So all my life, and it's all about, it's been for reconstructing. It's not only a beauty, but it's also trauma, implants, jaw reposition for little kids, clefts, cancer, post-cancer reconstruction. So it's kind of very in depth. And the thing is that after each surgery, people have to understand it clearly because I don't think people really understand that surgeons are sort of gods, yes, but we can only alter. We can
Right.
shift. We can open we can put bone together. We can open arteries or something. But at the end of each surgery, we are going to put stitches on
Right.
because we can't heal.
No.
Only
That's the
body can
body's
heal.
job. Yes, great.
Right? So people think that if you're going to go to surgeon or if you're going to do injection, it's going to work. No, it's not.
Right. No.
Only body is going to tell exactly what it's going to do because it's a kind of it's a computer which is higher than us
Right.
and supports us because we would have by now with all the beautifications we would shred ourselves to pieces if not the point of pains and consequences of doing that,
Right.
and body just doesn't allow you to do that.
Right.
You are very good with hair dyeing and or doing nails because they are dead cells. Whenever you start to work with the live cells, then there are consequences. And
Interesting.
people don't
Okay.
realize that. So when I have done more than 15,000 surgeries,
Amazing.
and in 2002, when I finished my postgrad program at Boston University, I don't know, where's my diploma, like
Oh,
someplace
there it
there.
is. I just saw
Yeah,
it.
from Boston University. And I was teaching. I was teaching surgery, and surgery has two major complex. One is you have to have good skills because you have to see in three-dimensional how people will look after your intervention.
Right.
Sometimes you just have a picture because person had a motorbike accident, cancer accident. You just have to kind of be a little Picasso, let's say.
Yeah.
The other thing is you have to have absolutely, you have to know the body, how much body can regenerate and what can be regenerative and how to expedite regeneration, because if the wound doesn't heal, is a pain. Second, we can have a secondary infection, then we can have scarring, colloid scarring, we can have we can have, but this is a one part. Another part is that because we are doing cuts, even let's say plastic surgery, we are leaving invisible scars, and scars are creating blockage in the circulation,
Oh, really?
right?
Interesting. Okay. Interesting.
So
Right.
if I mean, if it's a live surgery for a heart or something, you don't care about scar. You care about
Right. You
life.
can't see it. Right.
Well, and no, you can't see it because it's under the shirt. But
Yeah.
still, it's always
Right.
gonna be a scar. Body is gonna protect yourself. Okay, let's do something very simple for a woman. Maybe if you're not gonna get that, but for women, they go to do a pedicure, right? And a pedicure, when
I've had
women
pedicures.
go, then
I've had pedicures.
pedicures, and
I
then
have. Yeah.
they slice off a dead skin.
Right.
Yeah, and so the human feels so good, and it's like so, legs, feet are so light, and everything is so. In 2 3 days
Soft.
is very uncomfortable to walk, and then what's happened? Body builds exactly the same amount of extra skin.
Oh,
That's
interesting.
why you go again,
Interesting.
because you got to say,
Okay.
because the body doesn't. Body has to balance the weight and
Right.
protect your because there are lots of, if you know Chinese traditional medicine, there are lots of points which are responsible for entire body, right? You
Right.
know, reflexology. So
Hmm.
when you open those little points, and your body weight is too it's going to just recreate that skin and say, no, 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 you are not cutting piece of me off without my permission, right? I'm going to
Right. Because the
recreate.
body's whole job is to self-preservation and
Yes,
survival, right? So
yes,
if it doesn't,
yes,
if it
yes. And,
knows that
and it's
something's
going to do everything to self-preservation, right?
right,
That's why, for example, if there's a fight or flight, sympathetic or parasympathetic nervous system, then if you are about to fight or run away, your the skin and everything, everything shuts down.
yes, exactly. Yep.
Only heart, brain, and lungs are, so you can run us. Nobody cares what's going to happen to your skin cells, so the body knows exactly. So that's why you go to massage, you sleep, because then you totally relax and the
Yeah.
entire body can rejuvenate.
Work together. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
right.
Makes
So
sense. Yeah.
these are simple examples of
Hmm.
how the body works. And if we are under the constant stress,
Yeah.
so we're totally blocking majority of our body, and
Right.
that's how we age prematurely.
Right.
So I since 2002 I started to do a full depth research at the beginning at the Boston University, and then in my own biotech, so as to how to boost natural body regeneration into the places where we need, first of all, healing after surgeries, healing after but then I went to anti-aging because I'm 60, and everything was 55, everything was showing on my face, wrinkles, under eye bags, saggy skin, everything. I was a super candidate for a surgery, right? But since I know what are the side effects of surgery, and if you're going to look at surgeons of my age, they are going to show a beautiful before and after picture of a young, like 40 years old woman, and you will never see a surgery on the surgeons themselves. Look at TikTok,
That's a
look at
good point.
social media.
Yeah.
60, 70, 80 years old surgeons from, high-end New York, nobody has done a surgery. You can see they haven't touched their faces. Every single wrinkle, every single age mark, spot, everything is there,
Well,
because
listen,
they know
isn't
what it's going to do to you,
right.
and it's irreversible,
Right.
and it's a patch.
And as we age, doesn't the body, the younger we are, the quicker we heal, right?
That is correct.
And
That's
and the
that's
and the
that's
older
what
we,
we're doing. The younger we are, the faster is there is a circulation. It's so you know what is circulation?
yep,
So what is circulation?
blood flow.
Not only.
Not only, okay.
Okay, so let me not torture you, but I'll explain quickly.
Okay.
So um, what can it's like uh, what is the one thing you can't live without apart money?
Oxygen.
Hmm?
Oxygen.
Yes. So oxygen, perfect. Usually, most of the doctors can't answer them. So oxygen. So you absolutely need arterial blood to bring oxygen, because oxygen, nothing. If you, I mean, if somebody did wrong long day, old days, what they do, they decapitated, or you know, yeah. So why? Because it's also cut oxygen
Right.
immediate. That's
Right.
the brain.
Right.
Once cells don't have oxygen, that's it,
Right.
right? The other thing is water. Obviously, we need a lot
Yeah.
of water.
which is full of oxygen.
Well, it's not really. It's bonded.
Right.
It's one molecule. It's not
Right.
really. You need oxygen, oxygen. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but then we also need every single cell needs 112 elements from vitamins, proteins, enzymes, all to create one little cell, which is technically a little baby. It has a nucleus, it has a Golgi, it has a it needs it needs energy, it needs
Food.
contour, everything, and it needs space. It's we know that it vibrates, we know about vibration, it can be clustered and everything else.
Hmm.
So, and also what body needs is eliminate waste.
Right. Right.
So, and it has to be by, like, say, Chinese medicine, 50-50. So
Right.
let's
Balance.
say,
Yeah.
so it's not only oxygen we need, not only supply, we also need to clean our body the same 50-50. Like, for example, we are taking a breath, right?
Hmm.
Even more breath, and even more, and it's uncomfortable, right? The body
Hmm.
says you don't need more, right? So
Let it
it
go.
becomes uncomfortable. Okay, so
Right.
we take normal breath, and then we exhale as much as we exhale. But if we exhale more, it's become
Right.
uncomfortable. The body starts to burn a little bit, lungs, and they say, I don't need that much. Now I need oxygen. So everything is 50-50.
Hmm.
So the circulation is 50-50, is 50% of oxygen and nutrients, which comes through the arterial blood, and 50% of cleaning everything what is a waste, dead cells and everything. And because we are constantly having new cells, we regenerate entire body. Skin 28 days, then within a year or two, most of the us is just a new us, technically,
Right.
right? The
Right.
bones, everything.
A whole
so
new
so
person.
we
Yeah.
need lymphatic drainage, and
Hmm.
we also need venous blood, CO2, and we need to tax everything else.
Hmm.
If it's not in 50-50, and with age, the skin color gets grayer, everything gets redder, bluer, because what? There is becomes a stagnation. And the more stagnation there is, the more it compresses on the cells, which are new cells, which are supposed to grow. And they no and also that stagnation is like a swamp, let's say, right? It doesn't move. So the oxygen and and blood can get to that cell to make it new,
Right.
to generate a new cell. Why? For example, my grandson fell off the tree. He broke his arm. 3 weeks, his bone is healed. Uh, Me, if I would break my arm, I don't know. I'm
6 weeks.
60, but
Yeah. Yeah.
70, 80, you break your hip. Bad news, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it can be lethal.
Yeah.
What I did, I created a global award-winning products for skincare and healthcare, which boosts that metabolism again. And that's how I got myself back to whatever I am at 60, without any surgery, without any procedure, without any dermabrasion, injections, nothing.
Okay. When did that light go on, and what was it that triggered you to say, "This is what I want to do"? What was the what inspired you to change to make this decision to
Um,
create AB Bio?
so I think I was born for I was born to it,
Okay.
because
A
first of
calling.
all, in the kindergarten, I wanted to treat everybody. Just, yeah. Then, second thing, I have some little bit of artistic skill. I can, I did some art, and I wanted to go to the art school, and I did for a short period of time. And then I realized that I need something more defined, some more refined things, like in a box, if you may say. So I realized that I'm not going to be Dali, that I have kind of limitations.
Yes, yes. And what
So
what ask what can I ask you a question? What part of art attracted you? What did you like about art? What was it that drew you to art first?
it's self-expression of colors, of
Ah,
emotions, of in art you can kind of your vision, maybe you can't, the 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 combination of colors, the combination of, like, I think the nature is the best artist ever. I
Hmm.
had when I was a prominent surgeon, I had a huge art collection at home.
Okay.
But I also had a farm with 500 sheep and 19
Oh, wow.
horses, two
Very
dogs and two
interesting.
ponies, and a cat. So, because I really believe that we are part of the nature, and we have the best regeneration for us is the nature. To be in a nature and a
Interesting.
part of the nature, right?
And so it kind of actually makes sense that you're kind of working with nature now from a
Only.
medical
Yeah.
standpoint. You're actually working with the nature of the human body to help.
Through the science. Yeah.
So it makes sense. So you've come full circle. Isn't that interesting? And
Yes,
so,
I believe it's also something in me that I am fortunate that I have seen the body from inside. It's
right,
not that I am just making
right,
cream because I'm looking whatever they send me from, where is that, France, samples, and I just know how it's going to work with inside. What is it?
right.
It's not only that I'm sampling a natural sustainable ingredient. I know, I kind of close my eyes and I know exactly what that body, what that cell needs to boost it.
Interesting. So you have a very inside perspective. You can
Yes,
you can you can understand that when you ingest that thing or apply that product, how the body is going to actually react to it and use it
exactly.
and absorb it
Yeah.
and how it's going to
Or not
benefit
absorb it.
or not absorb it.
It's all depends on the size of the molecule you apply. For example, many molecules and many creams. Why do they say creams don't work? Because
Right.
we're using lots of oils, and skin is a breathable organ. Like, you go to the breathable means it excretes and breathes as well. So that's
Right.
why we go and take a shower, because we start to smell, right?
Right.
And it
Right.
goes through the skin. So if we have a big molecules, they clog the pores,
Right.
and you can and skin can't breathe.
Right.
So that's why your skin under the dress, where you don't touch the skin, usually is much better than the skin on the face.
Right. Because
If you
it's not as
haven't noticed
exposed. Right.
that. Yeah. So
Interesting.
we are using nanoparticles. I found one Japanese nanotechnology who can break natural molecules into such a small particles, like you have Nicorette patches, like in
Right.
medicine,
Right.
or morphine patches for for a big pain. So they penetrate skin.
Right.
And so the
Okay.
smaller the smaller the molecule, the faster it goes through. So
Right.
one of the molecules is, so the molecule which would go through the skin, which, and that's allergen or poison ivy or something good
Right.
or bad, right?
Right.
It has a size of 500 Da.
Hmm.
So we are using nanoparticles, natural nanoparticles, which are size of 5,000 and 11,000 Da. They are
Wow.
so small that they go like,
Wow. It's instant.
and they are
It's like
immediately,
light speed.
yes. And that's why we get an immediate result every day,
Hmm.
an immediate lift, because we
Interesting.
get immediate drainage, detoxification, and that an immediate blood flow. We also work or on blood vessel permeability, which, with age you know about traumas, and people are dying because of traumas, and because the cell, the vessel becomes kind of like old rubber. It doesn't
Right.
work anymore, but instead of
Yeah.
leaking, it becomes rigid. So we want that permeability, that ability to get through the blood vessels, that, so the product, oxygen and everything can get through that,
Hmm.
wall, and penetrate skin cells, and get them healthy again, or repair, or create new skin cells, like skin cells. Every 28 day we have a new skin.
Amazing.
You wanted to, so
28 days. Wow.
28 days.
Wow.
So you do dermabrasion, for example. In 28 days, it's new skin.
Wow.
Waste of time, waste of money. I mean, people, they don't know. I think we have a lot on Google, lots on Chat GPT, but I would say that people are really not aware of a reality.
No.
Yeah.
No. And instant gratification is what everyone's looking for, right? So they want
It's
quick
almost
results.
to the scary effect. Why we, like I had 8 months waiting list, so I could say, I'm not going to do your surgery because you don't need the surgery.
Right.
And have you tried everything before you commit to the surgery? Because first of all, it's expensive. Second of
Mm-hmm.
all, it's a trauma. Third of all, we are going to get scarring. Fourth, it's not going to change your quality of your skin.
Right. Right.
We're going to alter your face look. But if you have big pores, if you have inflammation, if you have rosacea, if you have uh, eczema, psoriasis, name it, it's going to, large pores, it's going to be there.
Yeah.
And lymph, it's going to be there second day.
Mm-hmm. Right. So
So
tell.
you have to go all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And now for Botox, it's proven that it's technically it's a poison, which especially if you inject it very close to the brain, and like people, they if they smell cocaine or something, they inhale it through the nose because it goes right here. We have
Ooh.
connection with the brain.
Yeah. It's very close.
No, no, but it's no, but there is a bone which has small openings. Like
Oh,
if you have a congestion, the
porous.
head is
Okay.
also
Yeah. Yeah.
foggy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Interesting.
or on the plane, if you have, ears go back,
Ears plugged. Yeah.
yeah. So it's also your head is
Right.
kind of foggy. So it's all connected.
Right. Right. Right.
So
Interesting.
if you have injections which are toxins, and
Right.
they go constantly to brain, we already have a scientifically proved data that it affect our brain function.
Right.
Seriously? Are you ready for that? You ready for Alzheimer's or
No. Yeah. Exactly. Okay. So what year did you? When did you start AB Bio? What year was that?
AB Bio? I started when I came back. Well, before I had Laurus International, which was in Europe. We
Okay.
just closed it because research. I prefer to do research in American. So, so AB Bio, I started in 2017 at Stony Brook University
Uh huh.
as independent biotech company, and we have also patents for. I have a product which kills hospital infection and COVID or viruses which are lipid coated.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me about how did so you said, "Oh, I'm going to start this company," and this is what was the first product you came out with?
So the products are difficult because the products I would like to come out with will have to go through the full cycle of FDA approval, and so we can use it for surgeries, and
Right.
that takes much longer time. Meanwhile, I was aging already, and we almost had pre in the midst of COVID. I was literally knocking every door saying that we potentially can kill COVID. We can prevent COVID because if we can break lipid coating of the virus is dead. So it's not going to
Right.
get in. If it's not going to get in, you're not going to get sick, right?
Right.
So I made the nasal spray, mouthwash, and spray on the masks just to
Oh.
prevent, just to
Yeah.
start to prevent.
Yeah.
And through the General Wesley Clark and God knows, we almost got a deal with the government, which would really save, which is like I think the biggest low point of my life because I couldn't get to Fauci. I couldn't. I mean, I was talking to NIH. I was talking to everyone there, and we finally, through my lawyer, we got the independent proof from Department of Virology of Stony Brook University. We just send them a sample and say, okay. We know that it's not toxic, doesn't have side effects. It's based on methylene blue, which is now everybody knows about it. Like I think 5 or 6 more articles came at the same time, but we can did more than that. We could also do anti-inflammatory effects at the same time. So my lawyer was working day and night and everything, and we almost could help many people, but it didn't happen. And then it's kind of broke my heart.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a low point. Hey, that's a tough call to have to say, okay, we can't go any
No,
further.
you can just not only that, you can just see you see those emergency ambulance cars coming and going and taking people with oxygen masks and everything, and
Yeah.
I'm sitting at home and I know that I can help, but I
You have
can't.
something to do that will help. Yes, and that
And
must
I
have been very
can't.
frustrating.
It
Yeah,
was
very
it was
frustrating.
lowest point of my life, where I don't really know. It's was it the politics, short-sightedness? What was there? What was to deal with the Center of Disease Control? What was a deal with all these big, like Fauci who was just talking about, how prevent COVID? And no, yeah, Stony Brook University, it took them for months to test it, right? It was local. It was really tough on me, tough. And then I said, I was I aged so much. I was so low that I said, I am locked. I am locked in COVID. My husband passed away. I have plenty to do, and I want to do something which takes my mind off this. So I created more. Just I have here. I created my AB bio. Yeah, so I did it for myself. And then what
Right.
I was just addressing my issue. So what do I have? I have wrinkles. Okay, let's address wrinkles. I have lymphatic, lots of liquid. Let's address that. I have sagging jaw. Let's do more collagen. I have this. So let's combine everything. And because I'm a surgeon, I don't have time like layering 7 different products. One has a little vitamin C, one has little, and then at the end you go and do surgery, right? I said, no,
Right.
we're
No.
gonna do one way.
He knew better.
We're gonna get it like, for example, if you eat salad, you put salad leaves, you put a little cucumber, your little tomato, your little maybe onions, maybe some nuts, maybe some cranberry, right? Dried, and then the oil. So you mix a lot,
Yeah. Mix it all up.
right? And
Yeah.
it's healthy. It's
Yeah.
considered to be very healthy.
Yeah.
So why can't you do that in a cream,
Good point.
right? And it's much cheaper.
You can even put cranberries in a
Yeah,
cream, I guess.
yeah, exactly. So you
Interesting.
see, it's just common sense.
Yeah, I find it interesting. It's an interesting part of your story, Alina, that here you were in this low point in COVID. You had a vision. You had something that was going to help, and the setback actually put you in a place where you may not have thought of this. Like it might have been the actual catalyst for where you are today with your product. So as much as it was a setback, it may have been the thing that really guided you towards where you are now, which is very interesting because
But but I would put my I would pat myself on the shoulder even more, because as I started to work with my health skincare, right? I happened to meet a holistic doctor who was very open to anything where he couldn't solve the problems. So he said, "Well, can you treat arthritis?" And this was so kind of a huge challenge for me, like. And so I came up with a finally cream, and it's really good from elderly people to athletes, right? Because it stimulates circulation very fast, takes swelling away, takes pain away. So that one, he says, can you remove cysts, like growth? I mean, given that it's tested that it's positive, and it's, yeah, we can do that. And so at the end, I came up with the 30 formulas. They are not all on the market yet because we're just too small to produce it and have it, constantly, because that's a huge stock, and it's already would be a huge factory. But we have nasal spray, we have for eyes, we
I noticed you have a lot of products. I mean, you have men's products, you got
yes,
women's
man
products. Yeah,
products,
it's
excellent for man, for prostate, and for virility. That excel, it's just a blessing for every man who is over 50. Or
interesting.
yeah, it's a blessing, because you don't have it's gonna just prevent your surgery.
What's your number one product?
um Number one, I would say people still go for skincare,
Yep,
absolute youth. and
absolutely. I
then
was just
and
looking at it.
and then
Absolutely.
under the table, I would say that would be excel for men. Yeah, because lots of wives are buying it for for the husbands. Yeah, and they are very happy now, they're happy again. And men don't buy as much, especially women buy. And yeah, and it's also very famous amongst the doctors themselves. And then
Yeah,
finally,
so another one, you have one called Let's Dance, right?
oh, Let's Dance is not as I think women who are pregnant, and women who, because you can use a finally cream for that as well. So women who or men who have heart problems, diabetes,
Hmm.
elephant elephant legs, elephantiasis, or
Oh, okay.
have kidney problems. It's really, so what happens,
Interesting.
just think about it. Heart has to pump, and there is no pump in our feet. So the more swelling goes into your legs, the less liquid is here for heart
Right.
to pump.
Right.
So the more you have liquid down in legs, the more your heart has to work, and the faster it tires out and works even less.
And most of these products are all applications, right?
Everything
Topical.
is application only.
Right. There's
It's
no
just that
ingesting.
we don't use any micro needling, because listen, I believe that. So if you wouldn't, just think about your belly. If you would do micro needling and poke yourself with the needles into your belly daily, would you do that?
No, I
Yeah.
don't like
So
needles.
that's why you wouldn't do that on your face, right?
No. God,
Would
no.
you take your skin off your belly?
Would I take it off?
Yeah.
Like,
Just like, yeah, like scrape it off. Yeah.
no.
Right. So but people
No.
do it on on the face,
God, no.
right? Would you do burn your skin with a laser, like the burn pig, the
No,
take
like when
off?
you say these things, I mean, people are doing these things, but when you say them like that, it's just like, well, why would anyone do that? But people are doing
But
this,
that's what
aren't
I'm
they?
saying.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
That
Yeah.
is what I
And
am
the and
trying
you
to
have
convey.
solutions.
I don't know, to as many people. Just please, they are very simple way.
Okay, now
It
tell me,
is a very simple way.
how are you getting this message out to people? How are people finding you? What are you doing to get your
Actually, I don't, I don't know, because you see, I never done. I'm not good at marketing.
Okay.
I am really a scientist.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't expect you to be a good marketer. You're a doctor, a
I when I was
scientist,
doing
and
surgery, and for 30 years, people knew me, that a word of mouth, and also they, like people, they knew that if I did something, it's 30 years later, it's fine. So they would say, if you really want something, go to her because she's the one.
right, right,
So I didn't know what is marketing,
right.
what is ROAS, God knows whatever, so it's not me. And plus I'm 60, and my grandson is gonna, just gonna do on computer something, It's not me. I much rather solve human problems.
Right.
It's
Right.
easier for me to do.
Exactly. Let
So
someone
how I'm
else.
marketing, I'm looking for marketing. Like yes,
Okay.
it's my major pain point to bring this message out loud and very clear, because there are many people who are looking for alternative solution, which is scientifically proven, which is backed up by independent dermatologists, by independent doctors. We do everything like as if it would be a medication, even though it's not.
Right.
It's just it's a topical application without any medical claims whatsoever.
Right.
So therefore, yeah, this is my point where I really trip. I never knew that it would be a problem, but yes, there's always a
And marketing's gotten very complicated too. Like it's a lot more. There's a lot more going on out there than there used to be. So it's a complicated environment. And I think if that's your area of growth, is that your kind of your largest growth issue is
I would
resolving?
think yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the only one, because like when people try, like and now I was lecturing in Dubai, and I mean, we technically sold out samples, not only,
Oh wow.
it just like it was like everything, and it's same when I do lecture. I started to lecture again internationally for doctors and cosmetic, and it's like it's it's like but the people have to listen and to try, and then it's immediately yes.
Right.
But
And right now they can only get your product through online.
right now they can get online in everywhere around the world. We have because it's licensed, licensed in Europe,
Mm,
and it's going to be licensed in Dubai as well, and obviously in the United States. So we're pretty much open to ship everywhere, and people who live out of these zones, economical zones, they can pay the duties, right? No, we
right.
ship internationally. Yeah.
Right. Oh, interesting. And you have, yeah, that's great. That you have that reach where you're not just focused on, not just available in the US, you're available all over the world, which is
I
great.
think
Yeah.
everybody deserves a chance to be healthy.
Yeah. So,
And
and
I when I'm sorry
yeah, I like
interrupting you.
that.
Whenever I
No,
was
that's
doing a
okay.
surgery, and I was doing a surgery, and I was thinking, okay, I'm spending 5 hours on one person, where I can create something which can help like 5,000 people at the same time. So I was always thinking I can do only so many, on how many you can do a day, five, three,
Right.
and how many needs that.
And exactly like how many people actually need that, where they could find
Yes,
the same results
yes,
sooner,
yeah,
faster, cheaper by
yes,
using
yes,
these
much
products.
cheaper,
Yeah.
much cheaper.
Yes.
Just
Yeah.
like for
And how about growth for you? Like if you were, capacity wise, like how quickly could you, how, if things took off like tomorrow, like went crazy, is
well,
capacity
it depends what
or
is
growth?
crazy. What is
Okay.
crazy? Yeah, right. If somebody tomorrow is asking 1 million units, yes, no, we can't. We
Right.
can't, and we can't.
It's
For several
scalability.
reasons, but one of the major reasons is a high quality ingredients.
Right.
To get those nanoparticles from Japan, you have to order them.
Right.
So that would be, I think that would create a little bit of scarcity at some point. Maybe, that would be resolved after, after some period of time. But it's not about manufacturing and building a bigger machine, and it's not that the problem. The problem is to have a high quality ingredients all the time, and a
Interesting. Okay.
mass production,
Right.
instead of processed ingredients which cost next to nothing. It's very
Right.
easy. You
Right.
still write on an ingredient list like it's aloe vera, but it's a powder. I don't have it on the table. I was not prepared for that. But just think of this. This is 4 years old. It's pretty dirty, right? This is a cream 4 years old. It's technically it's natural. It's white. It doesn't have any signs of oxidation. 4 years later, it's been in and out. Maybe I put my finger in when I came out from the store. I was touching money. Maybe I was in the bathroom. Maybe, COVID times we said that all the bacteria are on the fingers, right? Not a sign of getting bad,
No, interesting.
right? Versus,
Like McDonald's French fries.
yeah, versus our products. I hope it's
Did you hear that? I said
empty,
like
right?
McDonald's French fries.
Yeah. So this, we have a double wall
Right.
and it has a negative pressure. So when it's filled in, there is no air. So we don't
Oh,
have any
interesting. No
oxygenation.
air.
Now we
Okay.
lock it. We totally lock it. So that's it. Now the bottom is locked. So we unlock it. So there is
Right.
no oxygen. And there's a little tiny hole where which is also under the negative pressure. So once you pump it out, it doesn't suck in oxygen. So it's
Right.
totally protected inside with the inside wall from light, from radiation, from oxidative stress,
Oxygen.
from bacteria. You can't get in, you can't poke your finger in. The only
Amazing.
minus is that so you technically can't see how much there is inside left,
Right.
but you can live with it, because when you go to the store you buy the best natural products and they do get bad very fast,
Yes, they have a shelf life that's
right?
very short.
And you
Yep.
buy a salad 3 days later, it's a wilted salad, right?
That's right. Yeah.
This one we put also onto the body. It goes into the body,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's somehow people are taught, are it's engraved into them that this what goes inside should be high quality, and
Right.
what goes on the inside and also gets inside can be any quality,
Right.
which is nonsense.
No, you're right. You're right.
And then
So,
that's why they say creams don't work. Of course they don't work, they're dead.
no. So what's next? Where are you at in business growth here? Where are you at with business, and where are you going, and
Advertising.
what's hmm? Ad-
Advertising.
Advertising.
Giving a right message for people to understand what are their gains and what are their losses, why they why TikTok is full of people who can't wait to do a surgery at age of 35, 40.
Right.
Seriously?
Yeah.
So it's like a disease, like a
Yeah.
cancer
It's
spreading, like,
like an
because it's also
epidemic. Yeah.
emotionally people are confident,
Self-conscious.
self-conscious,
Yeah. Self-esteem.
self-esteem.
They're worried
But
about
it's
how they
more
appear.
than that. It's also like it's like I'm not enough.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's
That's
a
right.
psychological problem, right?
Yeah.
So it's I can talk, dig deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper why people are, of course, industry is pushing.
Yes. Of course.
Of course, industry is pushing every possible way, but I would like to know that people do have an option,
Right.
and the longer we want to live, that when you are 60, and I like yesterday, there's so many funerals now at my
I
age,
know.
already 60,
I
my
know.
classmates, and
I
I'm like,
know.
and then there is like diabetes, this, that, problems, don't sleep, go to the toilet 5 times a night. If all I'm listening is like pills, pills, the more and more we talk about health,
Yep.
where we used to talk about babies,
Well,
now it's, yeah.
you're right. I mean, it's our generation. I mean, I'm 58, so it's our generation. It is at this stage where it's like all of a sudden things start not working as well as they used to, or you're noticing these things. Like I've had a couple of moles removed and had to be stitched together, and
Yes.
I got scars from those. I never had surgery in my
Oh,
life, right?
actually, finally, cream is going to take scars away.
All right,
It
I'm gonna get
dissolves
some.
scars right away. Yeah.
Okay, I'll get some.
Mhm.
And my wife, actually this last year, my wife just had a she just had a full stem cell transplant from a condition that she got called myelodysplastic syndrome. And it was we were totally taken by surprise. I mean, she's a year older than me, but it was it was like these things are happening, and
Exactly.
she's come out the other side, and that was amazing, a journey to understand that how stem cells work and where they come from and why she needed to have them replaced. And her sister was her donor. And so I mean that whole journey has just been a bit mind-blowing for me, and also kind of really intrigued me in what's going on in the health world and the healthcare industry. And it's kind of led me to this place in my life. And so I'm finding this whole conversation extremely interesting, and I'm really enjoying learning about you and what you're doing with your company and the products you're creating. Because what I'm finding is people that, even though they're in business, and they're in business to make money, and they're in business to profit, and there's investors and there's board members, everyone seems to come back down to this heart-centered sort of desire to make people's lives better. And I'm really reassured when I'm talking to people on these episodes that that's where a lot of them say they have to come back to that every time and go, I mean, I want to help people. I want to improve people's lives. And that's the foundation of everything that they decide to do
Well,
and what drives
that's
their
a
business.
satisfaction, like they self that they self that giving,
Yeah.
in Buddhism and also Eastern religions, is satisfaction is a giving, right? It's
Hmm.
it's 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 a giving is the biggest satisfaction, not getting. It's giving.
Yeah.
Of course, you need money to buy
Yes.
ingredients, right?
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
nanoparticles cost $6,000 a
Yeah.
kilo.
And you got to pay good people to work with you and work
Right,
for
and
you.
and,
And,
and just to buy
yeah.
a high quality ingredients is like going to health food store times 10 because they
Yeah.
are very difficult to maintain. They have a short shelf life. You have to really be be quick, and just once you produce it, you have to sell it. So and people have to use it and keep in a cool place, and things like that, but that do work. And if you say, well, person was scheduled for a surgery, and double chin reduction, people can't sleep and anything, and we can take also double chin off, and people don't need the surgery, or it's a surgery for knee or something, and you can fix it, or you can improve heart condition, or you can remove brain fog or jinxing in ears, also with a finally cream. I
Interesting.
think it's when you hear the thank you, just for a cream.
Yeah.
So
That must be, that
I
feels
want to
good.
say one thing. So when I was a full-time surgeon, people, like, is my scrubs, and people would like, doctor, equation god, right? That's it. Surgeon. I and if, and they would never ask me question like, what kind of blade they gonna use, what's gonna be, like, what what are you gonna use. So when I started to do creams, they say, what's wrong with that surgeon that she's talking creams, it's like
Right.
kind of downgrading. It's funny how people perceive when I say, well, you don't need surgery.
Right.
You need a cheap, technically, versus surgery. Surgery costs 10 plus thousand, right? This costs 150, right? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I found it's very strange. Like, people expect surgeon to even charge more for surgery, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas I'm saying, listen, please avoid surgery, because in a Hippocrates
Yes.
oath,
Yes.
we pledged, at least in my time, more than 30 years ago, we pledged not to harm. And if I can avoid surgery for a person, I think it's my duty as a doctor.
I agree. I think that's wonderful. Yeah.
And do
Congratulations. That's a great
everything and
perspective.
leave surgery if that's okay. Emergency surgery,
Oh,
we're not
yeah, for
talking
sure.
emergencies, or
No.
emergency is an emergency, but Many before scheduled surgeries, I usually try to do everything possible to at least to maybe minimize the symptoms to the point that we have to do minimally invasive surgery or
Right.
none at all.
Right.
And if people can live without surgery, it's good. I think it's healthy.
It's very good.
And
Very
plus,
good.
if nothing, if you're 60 and nothing hurts, and you hopefully is 65 and nothing hurts, and you're healthy, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. This has been awesome. I'm really glad we managed to get this call in. I've thoroughly enjoyed listening to you and hearing your story and learning about AB Bio. And I I think we'll be talking again because I want to hear more about what the future of AB Bio and what comes for you in the future. So thank you for taking this time and being with me on this
And thanks
episode.
for inviting me and letting me express my philosophy on healthy living, I would say, and healthy aging.
Okay, I really enjoyed that conversation. I know I'm going to be investing in some absolute youth pretty soon here. And I really appreciate her sharing with us about how difficult COVID was, as it was for most of us, and how she took that sort of, disappointment in not being able to deliver a product that she thought would help others during the COVID-19 pandemic. But she was able to pivot and invest her time, energy, and passion into the product line of AB Bio. To help others find a solution for skin-related issues and cosmetic solutions so they can avoid surgery, I think is something that, coming from a surgeon who understands the complexities and sometimes the real long-term impact that surgical procedures can have for others. And I think she's really, delivered a heart-centered product, and I wish her the best of luck. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for our next episode.